This is KGW News at 4.
And first at 4 o'clock, a new mask mandate for the new school year. Students kindergarten through 12th grade will have to wear one.
But Governor Brown told our Kristen Severance that she will not be issuing a statewide mandate. Here's more from today's interview.
I interviewed Governor Kate Brown at her office in Salem for our first non-Zoom interview with her of 2021. I knew we would talk about COVID, the vaccine, and masks. I was not expecting her to announce masks would be required for all K through 12 students in Oregon.
So let's start with masks. When we walked in the building, I noticed there is a sign that says masks recommended. Where do you stand on masks? Will you be issuing another mask mandate for Oregon?
The challenge is, of course, the Delta variant, and it is extremely transmissible. And so Dr. Dean Seidlinger is recommending, he's our state epidemiologist, he's recommending that when folks are indoors, that they be masked up.
So you're sticking with recommendation right now?
Absolutely.
What metric would we have to meet for you to change to a mandate?
So here's the challenge that we have, and that is getting more Oregonians to get vaccinated. I do not believe that a statewide mask mandate helps in that effort. We are, however, going to be requiring masks for schools, K through 12 schools, starting in the fall. We want to make sure that kids are in school 5 days a week. We know that it is the best way for our kids to learn, and it is the most effective way to stop the transmission, particularly for our younger kids who are not yet eligible for the vaccine.
Okay, so masks required for schools?
Yep, K through 12 schools.
Oregon is once again seeing an uptick in COVID cases and hospitalizations. I asked Governor Brown if she would impose restrictions or lockdowns if hospitalizations hit 300 again. That's the metric she used during most of the pandemic. She said it's time to let local public health officials decide.
Look, we are moving to a more traditional public health response, and that is at the community level, the county level.
I also asked about vaccine mandates. Oregon is the only state with a law that prevents hospitals from requiring their employees to get the vaccine. Governor Brown said she is meeting with healthcare workers and industry leaders this week to improve vaccine rates in that industry.
Would you like to see hospitals be able to make that choice?
I think it's really important for employers to encourage their employees to get vaccinated, whether they're healthcare workers, whether they're working in technology, whether they're working in manufacturing, whatever folks are doing.
So,
yes, yes.
You would?
Please.
Okay.
We need more people to get vaccinated. There's absolutely no question about it.
Brown said everything is on the table, including calling a special session to reverse or pass a law allowing hospitals to have the choice. I'm Kristen Severance, KGW News.
The fast-spreading Delta variant now accounts for at least 88% of all COVID cases in Oregon. That's according to researchers at OHSU who are tracking all the variants. Pat Doris shows us why this one is so dangerous.
The Delta variant is a descendant of the original COVID virus that arrived in Oregon 16 months ago. There is reason to fear it, especially if you are not vaccinated, says Dr. Paul Cieslak from the Oregon Health Authority.
The bad news is for unvaccinated Oregonians, you're at even higher risk now than when the pandemic was raging a year ago.
That's because it spreads at least twice as fast as the original and appears to load up infected people with more of the virus, according to Cieslak, making the victims sicker. All viruses evolve and change over time, which is how the Delta variant came into the world. Brian O'Rourke is co-leader of the SARS-CoV-2 Genome Sequencing Center at Oregon Health and Sciences University.
Its genome is made of genetic material known as RNA, and copying that RNA is an error-prone process. The virus makes about one mistake every 2 weeks in copying its genetic code, and those mistakes accumulate over time.
The most successful mistake so far, the Delta variant. Whatever changed during the copying process turbocharged it. O'Rourke and his colleagues study about 10% of all the positive tests in Oregon to figure out which variant is most active, and Delta has been wildly active. Take a look. For the week covering June 26th through July 3rd, Delta variant made up 33% of all cases. The next week, it was 58%, and the week after that, it was 88%. The most recent numbers on the Delta variant are not available yet, but it's a good bet they're even higher. In Northeast Portland, Pat Doris, KGW News.
Thank you to Pat. Now, with temperatures hitting the high 90s today, triple digits expected tomorrow, it is going to heat up. Counties in the metro area, they're adding more places now for people to try and cool down. Morgan Romero joins us from Southwest Portland. And Morgan, it seems like we learned a little bit from that last heat wave that hit us.
Yes, that's what officials are telling me. Now, as you're going to hear Matt talk about in just a minute, this heat wave isn't nearly as extreme as what we went through a month ago, but it's still really concerning, especially for vulnerable people who are homebound without AC.
Last month's heat wave killed dozens of Oregonians.
Only those numbers still are weighing heavy on us, and it's why we continue to look at what we can do and how we can do it better.
Leaders in the metro area say they learned valuable lessons.
If there's something we can do before you got there, I think it's our responsibility to look at it to try to make sure we don't send you to the hospital.
As the heat settles in, Multnomah County opened more cooling centers, and many libraries are staying open later. To cool off during the day, you can also go to a misting center, splash pad, or pool in Portland. Check out this online map to find a spot near you. The Joint Office of Homeless Services again has supplies and water for outreach workers to give people on the streets. This time, the county and city are calling hundreds of thousands of people using automated warning messages, some with info on cooling centers. I got one Thursday afternoon.
Woodstock Library is open as a cooling center if you need a place to go.
Hey, this event is coming. If you need assistance with transportation, 211 is a great resource to do that. But also, here's a website you can go to find out about our cooling locations and other information to stay safe during this event.
We learned TriMet is offering free rides to cooling centers if temps hit 100. Washington County has this map showing cooling centers, hydration stations, and splash pads open through Saturday. It also has advice online to stay safe in the heat, and their website tells people how to find a free ride to cooling centers.
Heat injuries are preventable injuries, and so it's important that people take steps to prepare themselves and to take action.
In light of last month, they want to communicate with people better.
Definitely there's a need to improve our ability to reach out to provide direct services really to people who are in that category of being homebound without having adequate resources.
After the 211 helpline failed hundreds during the June heat wave, it's now up and running 24/7 across the state. It also has specific information about heat. Maybe one of the biggest lessons we all learned: to look out for each other.
Check on their neighbors.
Reach out to elderly and vulnerable family and friends, people who are homebound and live alone without AC.
Knock on their door, invite them in, play a game, watch some TV, because it's not just us that needs to be part of the solution. We think that certainly, and we know a lot of our community does that as well.
After a few people died in Home Forward properties last month, the Housing Authority tells me it made some changes as well. For example, it bought more ACs and fans to give out to residents based on need. If you want more information on how to stay cool over the next couple days, head on over to our website, kgw.com. We've got resources for you there. Back to you.
All right, important information, Morgan. Thank you. Let's send it now to Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino with a look at how hot it is right now.
Yeah, it's cooking out there, and tomorrow will be even warmer. Here's downtown Portland. We've had some smoke, elevated smoke. You may have noticed it looked a little bit hazy today. That's why. But we're at 96 degrees right now, and that's not going to be the high for the day. We'll end up at 97, maybe 98. So it is already really, really hot out there. We've got 97 in Sherwood right now, 97 McMinnville. The center Washington's at 95. Troutdale's at 97. And the list goes on. If you go down I-5, Eugene is at 98. And so is Salem. So already it's close to triple digits. And tomorrow, as I mentioned, pardon me, is going to be even hotter. So heat advisory continues for the Willamette Valley. The time has changed a bit and now expires at 11 a.m. on Saturday, not 11 p.m. because Saturday will be a little cooler. So that is some good news there. But look at the area in red. All of that is under a fire weather warning because of thunderstorms, some of which are developing already. Excessive heat warning, temperatures as high as 110 down in southwest Oregon. Interestingly enough, we have a flash flood watch out in southeastern Oregon because of those thunderstorms. Our 3-day forecast looks like this. Tomorrow's the hottest day at 101, but Saturday morning is the hottest overnight, Friday night into Saturday morning. 70 because we'll catch some clouds Friday night left over from thunderstorms during the nighttime hours. Then finally back down into the 80s on Sunday. So this won't last super long, but the next couple days, including today, really, really hot as we go through this little heat wave here. So hot through Saturday, then it cools off. Possible thunderstorms both tomorrow night and Saturday night. Some of those could drift over the valley. And then there's the potential for some good old-fashioned rain and cooler temperatures at the end of next week. Fingers crossed on that, and more about that later, guys. Back to you.
All right, Matt, thank you. And this is a great resource if you're looking for some relief from the heat. You can text the word HEAT to 503-226-5088. We will text you back with a list of cooling centers in the area. They have air conditioning, water, snacks, and some of them are pet-friendly.
The man accused of killing a Clark County Sheriff's detective is back in Clark County and made his first appearance in court. 26-year-old Guillermo Reyes-Leon appeared via video link from the Clark County Jail this morning. He's charged with aggravated murder and possession of a stolen firearm connected to the shooting death of Sergeant Detective Jeremy Brown 5 days ago. Reyes-Leon will be held without bail.
A shootout and chase in Kaiser led to the death of a pedestrian. Kaiser police say they tried to contact two men about a stolen car near River Road and Dearborn Road last night around 9. One of the men got into a shootout with officers before driving away. He then hit and killed the person crossing the street. Police arrested the man near Cherry Avenue and Salem Parkway after a brief standoff. He's in the hospital being treated for gunshot wounds. 6 officers were involved. They are now on administrative leave.
Today, after months of buildup, the city of Portland began to clear massive homeless camps near Laurelhurst Park. Dozens of police officers and park rangers and biohazard crews arrived in southeast Portland around 8 a.m. They were greeted by protesters, angry that the city is clearing the camps amid a housing crisis and a pandemic. In a statement this week, city officials called the camp unsafe. They cited multiple reports of people there carrying guns. Campers told us, well, they say that's not true. Regardless, dozens of people packed their things today, unsure of where they'll go next.
We have to relocate and start over, and these sweeps just take us back a few steps.
I want to know why it's taken so long and why the city wasn't better prepared. We've been telling them about these conditions for almost a year.
Our crew spotted reps from multiple agencies out there that have helped people to find housing and services. Still, though, Portland has a housing shortage. City officials are working to open organized villages throughout the city where people can legally camp, but those won't be ready for months. Most people in the Laurelhurst camp today simply just scattered.
Police say a woman who was visiting Portland was stabbed during an unprovoked attack in Old Town. As Catherine Cook reports, it underlines a growing concern over violence and those struggling with mental health.
People here in Old Town say they look out for each other, whether it's business owners or those who live here, which is why this week's attack is so frustrating to them and scary for those who want to visit.
Take a walk through Portland's Old Town and you'll see a lot. People living on the streets, tourists, nightclubs. This is Portland's entertainment district after all. Take Dan Lenzen along with you and he'll point out something else.
There's a collaborative effort between all kinds of walks of life right now to make their world safer.
Lenzen co-owns Dixie Tavern on Northwest 3rd and Cooch. It was at this intersection that police say a woman visiting from out of town was stabbed by another woman in a random attack Monday afternoon. Court documents show private security called Portland police. Officers then found the victim lying in the middle of the street bleeding. Police say the suspect, Tammy Imholt, was standing nearby holding a cuticle trimmer covered in blood and acting belligerent.
The fact that we had anybody get hurt by anybody with behavioral health issues is not okay.
Lenzen, who is also on the Old Town Community Association board, noted the suspect would often camp here, though he says her tent is now gone. He knows many who live here by name and considers them neighbors who need help.
We also know what the behaviors look like, and it's not always a good day for folks, and they might need some special attention or pay more attention to them so that we don't have an altercation with folks.
But what about those who don't have that background knowledge, who just want to walk through areas like this? Who should they call, and what should they do if someone appears to be a threat?
There is no one great solution to this ongoing problem.
Portland Police Sergeant Kevin Allen says people can always call the police non-emergency number if someone is acting out, or 911 if necessary.
If someone has a weapon and people feel physically threatened, that's absolutely a 911 call.
As for what they should do, Allen suggests backing away or leaving the area.
It's worth noting the victim in this case told police she did exactly that, only to be chased by the suspect.
When we have things happen like this that are really terrifying, where we have somebody who's just attacked on the street, I understand why that raises concerns. It raises concerns for me as well. But we also have to keep in perspective, these are rare.
Lenzen says violent crime around here happens far more often than the public is aware of, and it's frustrating. He says it all goes back to his observation of everyone here working together.
We are lacking private security, we're lacking police services, so everybody else is going to have to step up and be involved.
In Northwest Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.